Hello, welcome to the Tiresias Twins YouTube channel. For all things puzzle and quiz related, I hope you enjoy the STYTYKA quiz. STYTYKA stands for So You Think You Know About. The quizzes will cover one of 10 categories, and each quiz will be on a specific topic within that category. The categories are history, sport, music, science, film, literature, television, my worst subject, geography, nature, and finally, art. The category for this quiz is music. So, you think you know about disco and pop of the 1970s? Here we go, and the best of luck to you. Question 1. In the film Saturday Night Fever, what was John Travolta's character called? Was he A. Tony Manero, B. Joey Tribbiani, C. Tony Soprano, or D. Danny Zuko? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is A. Tony Manero. Joey Tribbiani, of course, was played by Matt LeBlanc in Friends. Look out for a future STYTYKA quiz on the TV series Friends. Tony Soprano was played by the late great James Gandolfini in The Sopranos. The Sopranos will be the subject of an upcoming STYTYKA quiz. Look out for that one. Unlucky if you chose Danny Zuko. He was John Travolta's character in Grease. Question 2. Who had hits in the early 1970s with Sole Sole, Tweedledee Tweedledum and Sacramento? Was it A. Marmalade, B. The Mixtures, C. Middle of the Road, or D. Edison Lighthouse? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is C. Middle of the Road. Middle of the Road were a Scottish band fronted by the distinctive voice of the very beautiful Sally Carr. Alongside these massive hits was perhaps their best known single, Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep. Marmalade were another Scottish pop band of the 60s and 70s who enjoyed quite a bit of chart success, particularly with their cover version of the Beatles' Obla-Dee Obla-Da. The Mixtures were an Australian band whose biggest hit in the UK was the Push Bike song. It reached number 2 in the UK and number 44 on the Billboard's Hot 100 in the US. Edison Lighthouse are best remembered for the number 1 hit, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. It was the UK number 1 at the turn of the decade, 69 into 70. Question 3. The pop, soul, disco group The Real Thing had many hits in the 1970s with singles such as You to Me Are Everything in 1976, Can't Get By Without You in 1976, and Can You Feel the Force in 1979. But in which city did the group originate? Was it A. Liverpool, B. Birmingham, C. London, or D. Bristol? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is A. Liverpool. Apparently, the group were originally called Vocal Perfection, but their manager, Tony Hall, saw an advert for a well-known soft drinks company and liked their slogan, The Real Thing. Question 4, one for the Eurovision aficionados. ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest and launched themselves into megastardom with Waterloo in 1974. But can you remember who won the contest in 1975? Was it A. Brotherhood of Man with Save All Your Kisses for Me, B. Milk and Honey with Hallelujah, C. Bucks Fizz with Making Your Mind Up, or D. Teach In with Ding a Dong? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is D. Teach In with Ding a Dong. Teach In were a Dutch band, active from 1967 until 1980. Following Teach In's success, the 1976 Eurovision Song Contest was held in The Hague and was won by Britain's Brotherhood of Man, in the days when Europe actually voted for us. Israeli group Milk and Honey won with their track Hallelujah in 1979, the contest being held in Jerusalem following the 1978 win by Izar Cohen and the Alphabeta with Abba Nebi. So back-to-back Eurovision wins. Luxembourg had achieved the same feat in 1972-73. A Spanish win in 1968 saw the contest held in Madrid in 1969, with Spain being one of the 4 tied winners in that year, alongside the UK's Boom Banga Bang sung by Lulu. Ireland are the only country to have won 3 in a row, 1992, 93 and 94. Bucks Fizz won in 1981, the contest being held in Dublin, Ireland, following Johnny Logan's first Eurovision win in 1980 with What's Another Year. Question 5. Late 1974 and early 1975 was a golden few months for a Scottish band who saw their first hit, Magic, hit number 5 on the US Billboard Top 100, number 11 in the UK. They followed this up in January 1975 with the appropriately titled January, which reached number 1 in the UK. What was the group called? Were they A. Slick, B. Pilot, C. Sherbet, or D. Christie? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is B. Pilot. Pilot formed in 1973 in Scotland's capital, Edinburgh. Whilst they didn't repeat the enormous success of the mid-70s, they were all accomplished musicians with links to Kate Bush and her first 2 albums and the Alan Parsons Project. Christie are an English band formed in the late 1960s, best known for their mega hit Yellow River, which hit the number 1 spot in 26 different countries in 1970. Unlucky if you said Slick, they were another Scottish band of the mid-1970s. They had success in February 1976 with their single Forever and Ever. The group included a young Midge Ure, later of Ultravox and of course one of the instigators of Band Aid. Sherbet were a successful Australian band of the 1970s. Their biggest hit in the UK was How's That? Question 6. Each of the following musicians and groups are connected with a song with the title Shame somehow. But who sang Shame, 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 Hey Shame on You, If You Can't Dance Too in 1974-75? Was it A. Evelyn Champagne King, B. Shirley and Company, C. La Belle, or D. The Spinners, also called the Detroit Spinners in the UK? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is B. Shirley and Company. Shirley and Company were an American disco duo comprising Shirley Goodman and Jason Alvarez. They reached number 12 in the US Billboard Hot 100 with this song, number 6 in the UK, and the top spot in many countries within continental Europe. Evelyn Champagne King was an American singer-songwriter. She had a hit in 1977 entitled simply Shame. La Belle were an American group comprising Nonna Hendrix, Sarah Dash and Patti LaBelle of On My Own fame. The biggest hit was in 1974 with Lady Marmalade. However, in 1976 they released a single called Isn't It a Shame? The American group The Spinners had a number of hits in the 1950s, 1960s and 1970s, including a song called It's a Shame in 1970, a song co-written by Stevie Wonder. Question 7. The disco anthem More, More, More has been covered a number of times, Bananarama's version in 1993 and Rachel Stevens' cover in 2004 being 2 of many. But who had the original hit in 1976? Was it A. Andrea True Connection, B. Hughes Corporation, C. Baccarat, or D. McFadden and Whitehead? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is A. Andrea True Connection. Andrea Marie Truden, better known as Andrea True, recorded the song in 1975, originally in Jamaica, alongside songwriter and producer Greg Diamond in a project called Andrea True Connection. Truden had been doing some commercials in Jamaica at the time that sanctions were imposed, stopping money leaving the island. Truden had to either give up her pay or spend it in Jamaica. She chose to spend it on making a record, More, More, More. The original take of the song was released in Jamaica by Federal Records. Later, Buddha Records in New York released it to discos. The song was so popular in the nightclub's disco scene that Buddha Records released the song commercially. After remastering by Tom Moulton, it peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 in Canada and number 5 in the UK. In March 2025, Billboard magazine ranked More, number 36 in their 100 best dance songs of all time. Hughes Corporation are best known for their massive hit Rock the Boat in 1974. The sensuous duo Baccarat had many hits in the 1970s. Perhaps their biggest was Yes Sir, I Can Boogie in 1977. McFadden and Whitehead are arguably best known for their 1979 hit Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Question 8. With regard to electronic and synthesizer pop. Which of the following instrumentals was the first to hit the UK charts? Was it A. The Crunch by Ra Band, B. Popcorn by Hot Butter, C. Oxygen by Jean-Michel Jarre, or D. Magic Fly by Space? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is B. Popcorn by Hot Butter. The original version of Popcorn was written by Gershon Kingsley in 1969, but the worldwide hit was by Hot Butter, an American pop band, in 1972. The Ra in Ra Band stands for Richard Anthony Houston, an English producer, arranger, conductor and multi-instrumentalist, and of course the creative force behind the Ra Band. The Crunch was a hit in 1976. Magic Fly was written in 1977 by the French group Space. Staying with the French theme, Oxygen was Jean-Michel Jarre's third studio album. Although released in France in December 1976, its international distribution occurred in 1977. Worldwide, the album has sold in excess of 15 million copies. Question 9. Which teenage heartthrob announced, "I was made for dancing, all night long"? Was it A. David Cassidy, B. Andy Gibb, C. Donny Osmond, or D. Leif Garrett? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is D. Leif Garrett. American actor, singer and entertainer Leif Garrett started his career at the age of 5. His music career started in 1976, but it was his second album, Feel the Need, and the subsequent single, I Was Made for Dancing, that saw him achieve chart success. The single reached number 10 in the US and number 4 in the UK. Andy Gibb was the younger brother of the Bee Gees' Barry, Robin and Maurice. Although born in England, the family emigrated to Australia when Andy was just 6 months old. His solo career for a while rivaled that of his siblings, with his first 2 singles, I Just Want to Be Your Everything and Love is Thicker Than Water, hitting the number 1 spot in the US. Both songs were co-written with his brother Barry. David Cassidy rose to fame as the eldest son Keith in the early 1970s musical sitcom The Partridge Family. The TV family released a single, I Think I Love You, in 1970, which became a worldwide hit. Soon after, David Cassidy started work on his solo career, releasing singles like How Can I Be Sure and Daydreamer. He became arguably the biggest teen idol of the decade, although fans of Donny Osmond may disagree. I'm sure there are many 70s teenage girls who would argue that Donny Osmond was the teen heartthrob of the 1970s. He enjoyed major success as a solo artist, a duo with his sister Marie, and as part of the group The Osmonds. Question 10. Who had hits with disco versions of Eddie Floyd's Knock on Wood and The Doors' Light My Fire? She's also auntie to 80s pop diva SYTYKA. Is she A. Amy Stewart, B. Rose Royce, C. Thelma Houston, or D. Vicky Sue Robinson? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is A. Amy Stewart. Amy Stewart is stepsister to actress and singer Michaela Brown, mother of SYTYKA. Knock on Wood reached number 1 in the US Billboard charts in 1979 and number 6 in the UK. Light My Fire reached number 5 in the UK and did well across Europe. It peaked at number 69 in the US. Rose Royce enjoyed a great deal of success in the 1970s, with singles like Car Wash, Wishing on a Star and Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Mississippi-born Thelma Houston won a Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance for her version of the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes 1975 song Don't Leave Me This Way. Her version reached number 1 in the US in April 1977. In the UK it peaked at number 13. In 1986, the song was again covered, this time by British band The Communards, with featured guest vocalist Sarah Jane Morris. This high-energy synth-pop version reached number 1 in the UK, number 1 in the US Billboard Dance Chart, and number 40 in the US Hot 100. Vicky Sue Robinson's 1976 smash was Turn the Beat Around. It reached number 1 in the US dance charts, number 10 in the Hot 100. Gloria Estefan's cover of the song in 1994 also became a hit across the globe. Question 11. Disco royalty Sylvester had a massive hit in late 1978, early 1979. With what song? Was it A. The Hustle, B. Wanted, C. You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, or D. Dance Yourself Dizzy? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is C. You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. American singer Sylvester recorded You Make Me Feel in 1978 for his 4th album. The track was originally released on the B-side of Dance Disco Heat, but was receiving a great deal of attention in discos and nightclubs, so was released as a second single from the album. Unsurprisingly, it reached number 1 in the US dance charts. Keeping with the Communards theme from question 10, Jimmy Somerville released a cover of the song in 1989. It reached number 5 in the UK. The Hustle was a 1975 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 for Van McCoy and the Soul City Symphony. The song reached number 3 in the UK charts. Wanted was a UK number 3 hit for the Dooleys in 1979. The group, comprising 6 members of the Dooley family, had other hits including The Chosen Few. Dance Yourself Dizzy was a 1980 song by British group Liquid Gold. It reached number 2 in the UK and was well received across continental Europe. Question 12. As those of a certain vintage can attest to, the Disco's Last Dance, or 2, tended to be slow and smoochy. The smooth sounds of the American soul groups were the kings of this phase of the evening. But which one of them recorded I'm Stone in Love with You? Was it A. The Times, B. The Stylistics, C. The Drifters, or D. The Floaters? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is B. The Stylistics. The track was a hit in 1972, reaching number 10 in the US and number 9 in the UK. Johnny Mathis had a hit with the song Both Sides of the Atlantic in 1975. Miss Grace was the sole number 1 hit by The Times, hitting the top spot in January 1975. The Floaters from Detroit formed in 1976. They're best known for Float On, recorded and released in 1977. It reached number 2 in the US and number 1 in the UK. Each member of the group introduced themselves with their astrological star sign. Who can forget Cancer, and my name is Larry? The Drifters have had many different lineups since their inception in the 1950s. They've had numerous smash hits including Save the Last Dance for Me and Under the Boardwalk. Their biggest UK success was the 1974 hit Kissin' in the Back Row of the Movies. Question 13. A major hit in 1973, but who was the male lead singer on Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree? Was it A. Jerry Dorsey, B. Tony Christie, C. Ray Dorset, or D. Tony Orlando? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is D. Tony Orlando. Tony Orlando, with Thelma Hopkins and Joyce Vincent Wilson, collectively known as Dawn, enjoyed huge chart success in the 1970s with hits like Candida, Knock 3 Times and Say Has Anybody Seen My Sweet Gypsy Rose? But arguably the most enduring is Tie a Yellow Ribbon, which reached number 1 around the world. Jerry Dorsey is, of course, Leicester's finest Engelbert Humperdinck. He had hits in the 1960s with Release Me and The Last Waltz. Anthony Fitzgerald, or Tony Christie, scored major success in the 1970s with I Did What I Did for Maria and Is This the Way to Amarillo, a song written by Neil Sedaka. Tony Christie re-released the song with the involvement of Peter Kay for Comic Relief in 2005. It went to number 1 in the UK. Who can forget the fantastic and greatly missed comic Ronnie Corbett falling on the treadmill in the video that accompanied the song? Ray Dorset is the founder and lead singer of the group Mungo Jerry. They had considerable success in the 1970s with classics like In the Summertime and Baby Jump. Disco fans may already know that Dorset wrote Feels Like I'm in Love, originally intending it for Elvis Presley. Unfortunately, Elvis died before the song could be recorded. In 1979, Scottish disco singer Kelly Marie recorded it. Her version topped the UK charts in 1980. Question 14. The Village People enjoyed huge success in 1978 to 1980 with hits like Macho Man, In the Navy, Can't Stop the Music, Go West and YMCA. In the video promoting YMCA, they wore some famous costumes depicting various all-American roles, but which of the following was not amongst the collection of costumes? Is the answer A. Construction worker, B. American soldier or GI, C. Cowboy or ranch hand, or D. US Air Force pilot? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is D. US Air Force pilot. The construction worker costume was worn by David Hoddo. The GI uniform was worn by Alex Briley. And the cowboy gear was worn by Randy Jones. Other costumes included a leather-clad biker, a Native American and a policeman, motorcycle cop. Question 15. 1974 was a fantastic year for America's Walrus of Love, but who was he? Was he A. Teddy Pendergrass, B. Barry White, C. Isaac Hayes, or D. Theophilus P. Wildebeest? Your 6 seconds thinking time starts now. And the answer is, of course, B. Barry White. Barry White was given many nicknames by the press. In the UK he was known as the Walrus of Love. In the US he was simply known as Dr. Love, or sometimes the Prince of Pillow Talk. 1974 saw the release of Can't Get Enough of Your Love Babe and You're the First, the Last, My Everything, both colossal hits in the US, UK and across Europe. In 1971, Isaac Hayes wrote the score for the film Shaft. Hayes received an Oscar for the Best Original Score in 1972. Soul Man, written by Hayes and his songwriting partner David Porter, sung by Sam and Dave, was recognised by the Grammy Hall of Fame as one of the most influential songs of the past 50 years. Alongside these fantastic feats and accolades, and some might even say eclipsing them, is Isaac's role as chef in South Park. Teddy Pendergrass was a major driving force behind Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Between 1970 and 1975, they released such classics as If You Don't Know Me By Now and The Love I Lost. Theophilus P. Wildebeest was the creation of comedy genius Lenny Henry, being something of a tongue-in-cheek homage to Teddy Pendergrass. Well, that's it. Thank you for playing this SYTYKA quiz. I hope you enjoyed it and found some of the answers, and indeed the explanations of the incorrect options, at least quite interesting. Don't forget to note down your score and the SYTYKA quiz number. This is X3001. This SYTYKA quiz is rated 0.8 on the Tiresias scale. I hope you enjoyed playing it, and indeed it added to your knowledge of disco and pop in the 1970s. This quiz was in the music category. Look out for further quizzes in this category, or stretch your knowledge to include history, sport, science, film, literature, television, geography, nature or art. You may want to know, how am I doing with the SYTYKA quiz against others? Well, you can find out by following this simple process. It's also given in the description under this YouTube video. Number 1. Please subscribe to the channel. Number 2. In order to register your name, click on the register link in the description. You only have to do this once. Number 3. Register a unique name for yourself. Please, nothing rude or offensive to others. Number 4. Receive an email back confirming your quizzing name and allocating you a unique Tiresias Twins number. Number 5. Use your registered name and Tiresias number on the score input form in the description. You can also record the quiz completed and your score. As you complete more of the quizzes, you can see your average and ranking against others. The next music quiz will be Y3002, the subject being classic rock. Please hit the notification bell to be alerted as soon as it's posted.